Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So now we're gonna see how we can use uh, HSQLDB with Spring Boot. So I have already created a sample and let's go and jump into the code. So first let's start from the form.xml. So all these are regular group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging. Here we have explicitly mentioned the packaging as a wow. Then we have a parent repository, name, URL, organization, license, developers, repositories, properties. Inside property we have name, source code encoding, JDK version 1.8. Then we have a Spring Boot starter here. Spring Boot test dependency we have. It's a free marker we are using FTL free marker templates. So for that, then we have a Spring security, then Spring Boot data JPA. Then this is related to HSQLDB, and these are the war file name, resources, standard Maven compiler plugin. So let's go into the code first and see. So in the configuration we have Spring security configuration. This is a configuration which extends from web security configurer adapter, annotated with the configuration, as well as enable global method security. And order we have access override, and we have auto wired user detail service into this, and then we have overridden a configure method where we have specified JS, CSS, images, IOC, home, and as well as /public. All these things will be not intercepted as a part of Spring security. Then we have a configure method where we have mentioned that anything with the /users should have admin authorities. Other than that, every request should be fully authenticated. This is the login page URL, and this is a login failure URL. And then whatever the from the form for login validation, what is a username parameter, that is email. And then logout URL we have specified delete cookies, remember me, and then default success URL is /. So we have a controller here, controller advice. So this controller advice, what it does basically, for whoever the current logged in user, it will create a model object of that and send back to the UI. Then we have a home controller here which says that / or /home page, any request comes like this, it's gonna put the home page. And then we have a login controller where anything with the /login comes, so it's gonna pop up the login page for us. Then we have a user controller. Inside the user controller we have bunch of methods. We have injected the user services and validator, form validator for registration page. So we have set init binder form, and then binder.init validation user creation form validator. So we have created a validator. Then we have a get user page with the /user ID, get user creation page, handle user creation form, all these things. Then we have a domain entity like current user, roles, users, and then user creation. This is current user creation form is a bean. And then we have a validator which validate the user. So we have injected the user service here. Then we have set the validation target, and anything related to that user creation form will create the errors and all. It's just a validate password, whether the password matches or not, and then validate the email. So for email is already there in the service or not, we should always make sure that we'll register the user with the unique email. Then we have an exception handler here which gonna send the status not found. Then we have a repository, user repository, extended from JPA repository and generic with the user as well as the long. And we have find by email method which will take a email name as a input and give us a optional user. It's a JDK 8, so optional is a class inside the JDK 8. Suppose if we are getting null, then also it will not lead to null pointer exception. So for that optional class is there. Then we have a current user detail service. So what it gonna do, based on the email it gonna load the current user from by using user service, and then if user not found, it gonna throw exception. Then we have a user service can access user, then it's a implementation whether user can access or not based on the his current privileges. Then we have a user service which has get by id, get by email all users, and create user, and we have an implementation of that. So we have a constructor here, then we have a get by id optional returning, get by user email, get all users, create, and then we have a followed by our own SpringBoot main class from where we can start the application. Then we have a resources. Inside the resources you can see these are the logger level we have configured. Then followed by free marker, where exactly the free marker templates are. Attributes, request free marker expose request attribute true, free marker spring micro helper true, all these things. Then this is a SQL query for HSQL database, so we are just creating a user, and then that user is having email, password and role just to validate. And then inside the web app we have a CSS folder, it had bootstrap related stuff, and then we have a JS which include bootstrap and jQuery. Then we have inside web app we have a FTL. Inside FTL we have a home page. So in home page inside the home page all these are regular stuff. We have imported JS and all this. These are the containers of bootstraps. This is a FTL tag where we'll say if current user, if user is not present, it will show this message and it will enable this login. If user is there, it will enable this tag as well as it will enable this login. Other than that, if user is present, means user is present, then he can see all these options. This current user option, view his own detail, as well as if user is admin, then only he can see create as well as user list also. So this is a regular login page where we have imported all this bootstrap related and CSS related stuff. Then we have a is message there. If any errors are there, it's gonna tell that invalid username or invalid email or something, password. And then we have a bootstrap container here, and then we have a form with the post request. This is a CSRF related hidden input box. Then we have a default message. So this is a default username, default email and default password. Then we have message email ESpark home, and then we have address as well as password, submit button and all. Then we have a user creation page where we have imported all the regular jQuery everything, and then we have a bootstrap container, and then messages, and then CSRF token, and then form, and then email, password, recheck password, role for drop down, and then submit button. This is a user detail page where we have imported all these things. And then container bootstrap container classes and all. Then this is the navigation stuff where it gonna say that ESpark home, you can just click on that. And then after that we have a table where we gonna display all the users with their email and name. And this is the page where you can see your own detail for the current user. So this is what bootstrap and CSS are imported. Container of bootstrap, and then we have two type of navigation, home as well as register we can do, as well as here we have displaying the current user stuff. And the test case we have a password generator. If somebody want to change the username and create his own scripts, so he can just keep here new email as well as generate the password from that test case. So let's fire up the application and then see. Ambient clean install it's already 12 past 37 in the night in India. Indian Spring Boot :run. So it's downloading some of the dependencies, I guess, which is not there. So it's gonna take some couple of minutes to fire up the things, and then we can just launch a home page. So here the Spring Boot banner came, and then here's the message Tomcat initialized on port number 8088. So what we can say, localhost 8080, and we can see the whole landing page, ESpark landing page. So it says welcome to the ESpark. We'll say login, and suppose if my username password is not correct, okay, it will complain for Kumar. So this is not a valid credential, so it will say invalid email and something. So I'll say Adarsh.radha @ESpark, Adarsh@radha password, and I'm gonna log in into. So this is an application home page where we can say view my own detail, then go back to the home page, and then I'll say list out the user in this, and I'll go to the home page, and then if I'll say register user, I'll say Sonu@ESpark, Sonu@Mono, Sonu@Mono. So we can select the admin, or I'm just creating a normal user here. So here you can see that if in the user list I can see this. So if I say check the detail, this is what the detail for this user, and this is what the detail for admin user, and if I see the third one, this is what the detail for this thing. So I can go into this and I can say log out, and if I want to log in, I can just again log in. So this is a default username and default password. So that's how we can create, and I'm gonna save my code to the same place where I'm keeping my all the things. So like my earlier application, which is related to Spring Boot JSON and XML request response, so that application is already there. So this application also sits into the same repository. You can pull it up and then play around with that. So till then, take care. Bye. I hope this will help you.